So we are going to start. Welcome, bienvenue, as we say in French. Dear American veterans, dear American friends, the Légion d'honneur is the highest French decoration, and it's being conferred to you to recognize all the personal sacrifices you made for the liberation of France and Europe, in the name of the French government and in the presence today of your family, of your friends. This is significant to me, having been born in the 50s. I benefited since my childhood until today from a great privilege. I was raised and went to school. I am presently serving as a public servant of France, which is a member state of a unified and free Europe. I also have had the privilege of living in a country in peace, and I am very conscious that I owe these privileges to the United States of America, and in particular to you, the American soldiers who participated to the liberation of Europe. We, the French, know that the liberation of our country and Europe began when the Allied armies landed on our shores, and we know and will always remember what the price was, the price. 60,000 American soldiers were laid to rest on French soil. The American and Allied cemeteries in France will always remind us of those days when grief from the death and destruction went hand in hand with our newfound liberty. And with World War II over, it was with the political and economical support of the United States of America under the Marshall Plan that the European nations were able to heal their wounds, rebuild their economies, and turn the ruins of war into the prosperity and peace. And during the Cold War, your country guaranteed West European security while consistently supporting the gradual integration and unification of the continent as the best way to maintain peace and stability. In 2007, we celebrated the 250th anniversary of Lafayette's birth and the 200th anniversary of General Rochambeau's death. Last October, we were in Yorktown in Virginia to celebrate the commemoration of the battle which took place there in 1787, 3 years only after the signing of the Franco-American Alliance and the Treaty of Friendship. Your country and France has a long tradition of alliance and cooperation. Let me draw now a parallel, like in Yorktown, when France gave hope and courage to the American insurgent. In the 20th century, twice the American troops crossed the Atlantic Ocean to help and save France, where we were allied. In 1914 and 1940, American troops brought a decisive contribution to the victory of France in 1917, and again the landing of American troops in 1944 on the French soil saved our country and Europe. Last year, in 2009, it was also highly symbolic of the Franco-American Alliance and our friendship. We celebrated then the 65th anniversary of the D-Day in Normandy at Ohama Beach in presence of the President of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, and the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, who visited France. On this occasion, the French government invited 40 veterans who were awarded the Legion of Honor in Paris. Dear American veterans, whichever branch of service you were, in the Air Force, Navy, infantry, intelligence, the achievements of your military career, your personal contribution to the liberation of France, are example of what an individual can bring as a soldier with the highest values of courage, heroism, sense of duty, and sacrifice for the strong and enduring relationship between America and France. All of you participated in the most crucial and difficult battles on the European theater of operation during the campaign of Normandy, Northern France, Ardennes, Central Europe, Rhineland, and Southern France. You fought from north to south, west to east, on D-Day for the liberation of Paris, for the Battle of the Bulge, or during the Dragon Operation. You were young men, private first-class soldiers, surgeons, corporals, lieutenants, or colonels. But all of you were there with gallantry and determination to help free us from the tyranny of foreign occupation. For your actions on duty, your government conferred to you the most prestigious decorations. Today, it is the turn of my country, France, to officially recognize all of you for your distinguished military service, which led to the liberation of our country and Europe. Mr. Donald Adler, Mr. Maurice Berry, Mr. Richard Burtz, Mr. Clinton Campbell, Mr. Thomas Clark, Mr. Robert Cragg, Mr. Daniel Curatola, Mr. William Doyle, Mr. Alan Gross, Mr. Joseph Januszkiewicz, Mr. Donald Yevel, Mr. Richard Jones, Mr. Frank Kushner, Mr. Raymond Leonard, Mr. Clement Leone, Mr. Donald Meeker, Mr. Edward Mehosky, Mr. Helmer Mass, Mr. Henry Newman, Mr. Charles Norris, Mr. Joseph Panel, Mr. Lowell Perdue, Mr. Anthony Pedraglia, Mr. Hamed Percy, Mr. Joseph Pinto, Mr. Stanley Root, Mr. William Rosenthal, Mr. Jacob Cruiser, Mr. John Sauer, Mr. Warren Southland, Mr. Raymond Smith, Mr. Clinton Snyder, Mr. Hugh Wallace, Mr. Raymond Wallace, Mr. Harville Watt, Mr. Marion Watson, Mr. Emmanuel Weinstein, Mr. Herschel Wilson, Mr. John Worthington, Mr. Herman Zaitchik. In the name of France, allow me to confer upon you my country's highest award, la Légion d'honneur. Now, we will proceed now to the ceremony of awards. Colonel Oudet, with me, and I will bestow upon you the award of the Knights of the Legion of Honor while pronouncing a few words in French that say, on behalf of the President of the French Republic, we award you the Knight of the Legion of Honor. So please, if you could stand up for this ceremony.